All right, welcome to another episode of the Strain Forward podcast. This is episode 2, podcast 2, second time ever doing this. Like I said in my last episode, guys, if it is terrible audio or videography or if I'm just trash at this, please be gentle with me, okay? Yeah. Today we're going to interview my best friend. His name is Mike. We've been best friends since freshman year in college. We're now 31, so it's been, gosh, what is that, 12, 13 years, something like that?
Yeah, dude. It's been a while.
It's been a long time. And to start, to kick this thing off, I want to start with a little icebreaker that ChatGPT prompted for me.
Oh, dude.
So, here's the question. You ready?
Yeah.
I might take this off, too, so I can hear you better. Here's the question. If you had to choose between having sex again or never eating again, which would you choose?
Oh, man. Oh, that's never having sex again and never eating again?
Yeah, you gotta choose one. I mean, if you never eat again, you die, so.
Yeah, I definitely am eating, bro. I mean, we like the other, you know that, but
yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that's actually a terrible question. There's no choice. There's no choice there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we like both, but I mean, I salivated food just like a lot of other things, but I like to eat.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, all right. That's an easy one. ChatGPT did a terrible job. We'll do another one later. Okay, so for you guys today listening, I want Mike to kind of go through his story relatively briefly, but we really want to highlight his military experience. So for those who don't know, Mike is in the military, the Army to be specific, and I really want him to kind of talk us through what that experience was like, because not a lot of people go into the military, period, and a lot of people who do go into it drop out, if I'm not mistaken, because it's just not for them. So I want to highlight that and talk about how he's grown as a person through being in the military. So Mike, I'm not sure where you want to start with that, but take it away, dude. Like I'll start with a question. So what prompted you to want to join the military?
Me and you didn't go to the NFL, dude. You know? Nah, dude, that's easy, bro. Yeah. And don't let me forget, I want to hound back on because if, people see this and whatnot, like that like big advocate of like words mean things or whatever, yeah. Like drop out. I just want to hit back on that. Yeah, dude, we graduated, we finished college, got our degrees, and you know me, man, like I was never going to sit behind a desk.
Oh, 100%. No way.
It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So, dude, I don't know, man. I just, I did that year before I joined and once I finally finished up at Western. And yeah. I remember finding myself at a recruiter's office one day, just kind of like randomly walked in there, It's funny enough, I don't know if I've ever told you this. I walked into an Air Force office to start. And I was in there for about 0.5 seconds, and they said, because there's stipulations when you join the military, and like paperwork you might have to do if you have like certain things going on, medical, whatever. And at the time, if you remember, because of my ADHD, I was prescribed and I was on medication, Adderall, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Long story short, I'm in this Air Force office, and that's one of the first, I guess it's a big deal, right? And then it's one of the first questions they ask, like, hey, are you prescribed any medication, whatnot? And I said, yeah, I have ADHD, and I take Adderall. And they're like, they basically look at me and they're like, all right, well, stop taking it and come back in 6 months. And I was like, what? All right.
Really?
Lo and behold, now, like, I've been in several years, and, like, I know that they could have, done a waiver for me. But, hey, that's a story for another day. So right next door was an Army recruiter's office. So, bro, I don't know. I just walked in and.
So you walked out of the Air Force office and walked into the Army office.
And so same thing, bro. I'm in there. They asked me one or two questions. Like that third or fourth question was, "Are you prescribed anything?" And I said, "Yeah, Adderall, ADHD." And they go, "No, you're not." And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not,
No way.
That went, bro, yeah.
Let's go.
So, Yeah, bro. I don't know, dude. I just you know my father more than most people.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do after college, bro. We didn't put that thought into it, going in.
Oh, not
Um,
at all, dude. I didn't think
just
about it
didn't
at all.
have that, originally not even knowing if I was going to go to college until football panned out. And when we got out, I didn't put no thought into what I wanted to do. So I found myself in the recruiter's office. I remember going back to, that same Army recruiter, a few days later, and then like calling my father, actually talking to him. I was like, hey, Pops, like, what you think? I think this might be a good thing for me, and just see how it
Mhm.
goes. And that's kind of like the short story, and I went
You
with
went
it. They
for it.
told me kind of like what jobs I would qualify for. You have to take what's known as the ASVAB,
Yeah.
like a skills test, kind of like the SAT for the military is how I kind of put it.
Yeah.
And once you do that, um, um, it qualifies you for jobs or whatever. So I'll pick mine, and a few months later, that's all she wrote, bro. We were gone. We were off to basic training. You know,
Yeah. That's dude.
scared, dude. Not scared, but like nervous, excited, anxious. You see, we watch all the movies growing up. You see all this
Yep.
stuff. Um, you don't know what to. You think you know what to expect, kind of, but you don't. Luckily for me, man, there's a lot that goes into it. But luckily for me, like I had been out of the house. I was 24 or 24 when I joined, so it wasn't as much of a shock for me. Had a little bit of life experience, and also, again, I had my father making me take 2-minute showers with a dime of soap since I was what, like, I don't know, 4 years old, 5 years old. So
No way.
like
He
that
did
first
that to
night
you
at
guys?
basic training, bro, boot camp, they said get in, get out, and like they tell you that first night, first few days, like they tell you what to wash. Like you get in the shower,
Right.
they're like, all right, put the soap on your head, put the soap on your feet. They're trying to break you down to build you up, like get you disciplined, listen, like
Sure.
that's how like structured they try to make it. Like what part of your body can you wash, and like they're watching you do it. And I remember, like, I was one of out of in my platoon. You got several platoons or whatever that make up what's known as a battalion. Anyways, we had like 40 people in my platoon. I was like one of three people that got out of the shower without soap on me.
So you were the only one that like successfully did it.
Like one of the few, yeah. Like I got in, boom, 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 boom. Maybe I just didn't wash myself good enough, but
I
I knew
mean,
what
yeah, at
was
that
coming.
point.
Like I was not playing. I don't, I'm getting it soap, out the cracks and crevices. But
Out of the cracks and crevices is crazy, bro.
But yeah, man, it was good. I've been in just over 7 years now. I know we've talked about that, and it's been good, man. It's definitely a life experience. I think whether you join the military or not, or it's something like for people, right? Like for anybody watching or anybody who's thought about it, whatever it may be, or don't know where they want to go in life, just doing something as simple as basic. Well, I say simple, right? And that's subjective relative to you, whatever.
Yeah.
I think everybody could benefit from going through basic training.
Mm.
And I'm not even talking, man, from like that, what we would call in military is like that hula hula, like really army, America focus, laser, boom, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I say that because like you genuinely do learn a lot about yourself, and the whole cliche of like becoming comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And it's not just physical, it's like, dude, like things like uh there was one day, they would come up in where my like quarters were, where my bunks were, where we slept. It's called a bay or whatever. Anyways, it was on the third floor of this building. And like randomly, they would come in, like get all this stuff out of your wall locker. Everybody had like a wall locker. They would say,
Yeah.
take everything out, get your rucks, get your duffel bags, fill them up, get all the way down to your linen and your pillow on your bunk. Figure it out, get it in your bags, bring it downstairs right now, outside. Lay it all out, boom, boom, boom. Everybody in your, 40-man front had to lay it out the exact same way. It's called dress right dress. And as soon as the last person would like do it and like, or lay the last thing out, put their boots in the right spot, all right, go ahead, clean
Yeah.
it up, take it back upstairs. Bro,
Just to mess with you.
just infuriating, dude.
Dang. And how long would like a process like that take? Was it like a fast process, or did you have to do it super quick, or like what did
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, like they're on you, like yelling
they're like
at you
yelling at you?
to
Yeah.
do it. Whether you do it quick or not, looking back now, like it was gonna take as long as it took. In the
Yeah, it doesn't
moment,
matter.
though, you're like, oh shit, boom, 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 boom. Like I got this done, I got this done. Like I'm not trying to be the one with that dude in my neck, just like, you know.
Right.
Um, but it was good, man. Basic training is really good. You really do find yourself, and not just, and again, not just physically. You know, it's like it's a lot of this, a lot of that cognitive, that mind state, like that cycle. It's psychological warfare, dude.
Yeah.
Um, and the drill sergeants in the army, they're called drill sergeants. In the Marines, I believe they're called like the drill instructors, right? Air Force, so on and so forth. Um, that's their job, man. They know what they're doing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they know for those 10, 12, 16 weeks, like that's their sole purpose is just to make your life miserable. Um, and then, yeah, you know, whatever comes with it. But
It's 16 weeks, not 10 weeks.
no. So like, it's dependent on your job, right? For some jobs, it's 10, 11 weeks. For
Yeah.
more or less like infantry guys or gals, theirs I believe is 16 weeks. It's a little bit longer.
Jeez, dude. Yeah. So I want to go back to you saying, well, two things. One, you said you grew, like, you think anyone can benefit from going through like boot camp and base camp. But before we get there, you said before you went that I want you to highlight how you felt before you went. Like, were you nervous? Were you scared? Like,
Yeah,
what did that feel like?
bro. I was I wasn't I wasn't scared, right? Like again, and I really pertain that to my father and his father before him and the household I grew up in and like just that level of strictness, whatever, or like that kind of like military bearing. I wasn't scared, but I was nervous. You know, it's the unexpected. I
Right.
find myself, I learned quickly, especially in the military and like then getting into deployment and stuff like that. I panic or I don't know if panic, but I stress. I get anxious. I get nervous and
Mm.
excited when it comes to change or adaptation, right? Or in a different world environment, whatever it is. So I was nervous, right? I was excited, but I was definitely nervous as well. But I will say, being one of the older guys or gals, whatever, because when I went to basic training, I was with men and women.
Yeah.
Um, you do feed off the environment around you. You know, most people aren't 24 or older. Most people are 17, 18. And you're with
Yeah.
300 people at some points. It's like that 17, 18-year-old bawling their eyes out. And you're like, bro, why are you crying right now? Like, dude, you just left home 12 hours ago, dude. Like, it definitely has an impact, Like, you
Yeah.
definitely feel a little bit. You feel for them. So that can heighten
Now,
that
did
nervousness, that anxiousness once you get there. But
yeah.
leaving, man, I believe me and you actually hung out like 2 nights prior or the night prior or whatever it was. I got my hair all cut off and we did
Dude.
one last
And
hurrah, dude. And
you had a mane on your head.
I did. I saw the video actually of us in the car with Nate old Agnew driving, bro, and us going to have some fun. But yeah, man, it's nerve wracking. But you I'll give you an example. So when you get to basic training, you have an in processing week, and then you go to like where you're gonna be. You have an in processing battalion, then you have like your battalion, your unit you're going to for the next 10 weeks.
Yeah.
In that in processing week, they gave us a chance. They said, hey, if you want to call your family one last time, we'll give you your phone. They already took our phones. We'll give you your phone back, um, so you can do that. Right before we leave in process. My first thought was like, oh heck no, this is a trick.
Right. Yeah. They're
Y'all are
messing with
tripping.
you.
But out of like 300 people, um, they made two lines. If you want to call, get in this line. If you don't want to call, get on this side. I was on the right line. Out of like 300 people, bro, there was only probably like 12 of us, 10 of us on the right line.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they let them call, but I thought for sure it was a trick.
Yeah. They were messing with you guys.
But regardless, man, it's like once you leave your in processing battalion and they send you to your unit where you're gonna be for the next 10 weeks or whatever, um, they give you one last phone call. I called Pops, wasn't calling Mom. She's gonna start bawling her eyes out for no reason, and I'm a mama's boy, so I love my mom. So I would have been like, "Oh, Mom, stop." So I just called Dad. They had like like a whiteboard, and it had like, "You will call your family, and you will say this," and it's like, "Hello, Mom, Dad. I am no longer your son. I'm a product of the United States Army, blah, blah, blah. I just called my dad. I was like, Dad, this is crazy, dude. Like, he was freaking out. And I was like, I don't know when I'll get my phone back, but I'll call you when I do. If you don't answer, we're going to have some serious issues because I don't know the next time I call you. But yeah, man.
Dude, that's
nervous,
crazy.
excited, all of it.
So they were standing behind, like in front of you holding a whiteboard saying, this is what you're going to read?
No, they were standing there in front of us, but the whiteboard was like on the wall behind them.
Yeah.
So like you're supposed to just read it. But luckily we had like space out a little bit. So like I was able to kind of like, I didn't have that. I didn't read that. I just had it. Used to be though, before cell phones, they had the pay phones and they would stand there on the pay phones in a line and they would read that board. And the drills are just
way.
On. Just, you better, you're trying to like,
That's hilarious. I didn't know that was a thing, dude. Dude, I remember, so when you finally graduated, like I had this idea for whatever reason that like the majority of people that go through just get like brainwashed and become like a different person. And I think maybe it happens to some people. And I wasn't sure if it was going to happen to you. So I was like, oh man, is Mike going to be like different or whatever? And I remember seeing the video. I love this video. You graduating, you're like standing in line. You're like super stoic. And there was a camera on you. And I forget who had the camera on you. Like someone was recording with their phone, like a family member or something.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like look around, you see the camera, and you just give a little wink.
Yeah.
Like letting everyone know you're good. I was like, yo, let's go.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Somebody in the military is going to see this video and be like, where is this guy? I'm about to go. Yeah. He's getting work written up tomorrow. Yeah, bro.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
People do. They turn robotic, man. It's genuinely like being in prison, bro. You can become, if you allow yourself to be a product of the system.
Oh, I can't imagine. Hold on. I got to switch around because the sun's messing up the video.
Oh,
dude, I can't. That was my mind. Like, that was my thought process. I was like, dude, Mike's going to be a robot now. Like,
no, but bro. Out of all of our people, and this ain't like tooting horns, this has not been good because it's got me, firsthand. It's got me in bad situations. Maybe we'll talk about that, down in another podcast. But like, I've never been one to like just. I'm not like a bad person, but like I don't do well with authority, right? There's a lot of people like that, and I've always like been a hothead. I've definitely matured a lot, bro. Like I've come a long way, but like that's what my mom was worried about. But even my buddies I work with, man, because like, and I know you've heard a little bit, or in the past, we've talked obviously, and like, I don't have the typical military career. I've done the cool stuff. I've done the deployments. I've done all that, boom, boom, boom. It's like, but where I'm at currently in my job and stuff, like I've been very blessed. But even in that, man, like, I just can't. I'll never conform to the system, and it's not that I want to rebel, but I'm gonna voice. I've definitely become significantly more mature in the fact of like actively listening, whatever it is. And I'm not just going, oh no, it's this way. This way is the best way. But I used to be like that, right? Yeah. So I would butt heads with people, even if it wasn't the military, right? Like my way versus your way is definitely better. Now it's like, all right, let me hear you. Make it make sense to me. Let's chop it up, right? But in the military, it's like you can do that and have those conversations. It doesn't have to be like, boom, boom, and like throttle down on somebody to like excel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
My style of leadership, if I ever have a big group of soldiers under me again, or if I leave my current job, is going to be way different than like what people see in the movies or what people are used to or what that old school mentality is. And a lot of leaders in the military still have, man. I don't think that's the best way to lead, right? So,
I would agree 100%.
Yeah, I can't become a product of the system, bro. You know that, Yeah, but you can still really excel, man, and like look out for your people and whatnot. I could go into detail about that all day, but nah, bro. I'm not the one you got to worry about when it comes to that,
Yeah, it seems like it's you do what you got to do to pass the tests. If like you got to shut up and take whatever because you obviously can't rebel. You can't rebel against them in the moment.
Yeah.
but that mentality is still there. You're just doing what you got to do to pass the test.
Yeah, and
And
so
then
like
once you're done, it's like, okay,
that's a perfect way to say it too for basic training, right?
right,
Before you get to your unit, basic training, and that helped me. I knew I was going in to take it on the chin,
yeah,
and I knew that, so that helped me. And being older again, like even if I wasn't the most mature at the time, like I knew I was going there for 10 weeks and I was about to just get wrecked. And it just is what
yeah,
it is. You got to play the system. If you're that guy, that girl that like tries to bow up to the drill sergeants, bro, you're gonna not just make your life hell. You are gonna make all other 39 of your lives hell. And it's like I will tell you this, man. Like I have a picture. I believe it's on like my social media and stuff. It's one of the only ones still up, but it's a picture of four of my buddies from basic. And I'll be honest, man, basic's like college. The Army's like college. You say you're going to stay in touch, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But reality is like you don't. And you got your select fews like me and you, right? But I have a picture from my buddies with basic, bro. And we were tight, bro. When we graduated, because you go through that psychological warfare for 10 weeks. You don't have your phone, you don't have TV.
yeah.
You're just taking it on the chin. You're out in the field. You're tired. You're hungry. I fell asleep one night walking on a ruck march, on a foot march, because I hadn't slept in however many days. And like, you really you just know you gotta roll with the punches and play the system, man.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, bro.
man.
But once you get to your
That's
unit, it can be a little different, right? You still got your leadership. Like I'm gonna respect you, but
sure.
sometimes,
Well,
again, that's down the yeah.
yeah, no, we could go down so many different rabbit holes with that, but because I will say that's one thing. Like, so like this is a perfect example. Like, so from where Mike started when we were in college, like freshman year, like I came into college super disciplined because I just was like gung ho on being a CrossFit athlete, so I was just like laser focused on that. Everything was centered around that. Mike came in like breakfast for him was ice cream cone and Coca-Cola. Like
Let's
that
go,
was
baby.
breakfast. And I was eating an omelet with like oatmeal. I'm like carbing up. I'm like tracking my macros. It's like we couldn't have been more opposite, right? And it's funny because like I definitely noticed. I mean, not only did I notice a change in you through college, but I noticed a huge change in you after the military for sure. Like it definitely. I mean, just hearing you say the things you just said, like obviously you mature as you get older and stuff, but like it was like a significant leap after you got out of the military, or you were in it and you were going through the things, like you just changed, but for the better in a lot of great ways. And I would love for you to highlight like why you said you think everyone should go through it, because I think I know what you're going to say, but I want to hear you say it.
Yeah, man, I just go back to like, I just go back to like, the skills like that's like you do for people that aren't physically challenged or are very sedentary on a daily, right? Like
Yeah.
or don't have structure in their life or have never followed like a regimen as far as like at 6 I'm gonna do this, 7 I'm gonna do like just a daily structure regimen, call it what you will.
Yeah.
Right, it really does help us set a foundation because you got no choice and you're doing it for several weeks on end, and then just like the simple skills, you really learn about yourself. When you're in the field and you're hungry and you haven't eaten in 4 or 5, or you haven't slept in 4 or 5 days and like you've barely eaten, you're really going to learn a lot about who you are as a person. And then basic skills. You learn basic like land navigation, right? If you're stuck out in the woods, what would you do? Basic
Right.
survival skills, right? So how to get out, how to survive, start a fire, sharpen a knife. Why should I carry a knife? Down to the nitty gritty of firing a weapon for the
Right.
first time. Somebody breaks into your home and you hear gunfire. Are you just gonna freeze? Right? Like simple things, right? Or like knowing
Right.
how to handle a weapon, right? Like especially in today's world, man. Like people trying to take our weapons away. It's like, well, dude, like again, I'm a big advocate. It's the person using them, right? And their motives, whatever. But like, do people know how to handle them properly? Like it's only 10 weeks and you only shoot so much. I mean, you shoot a good bit, but like it gives you an idea, man. It allows you to feel it. You understand what that thing can do.
Yeah.
You learn basic disciplines of like rifle safety. Like don't point your muzzle at somebody. Simple things, right? When you're walking around, you're not just carrying it like this, like just like life skills. I don't know, man. I just feel like for like life, it can really help you, you know. But then
Yeah.
for
No.
people like me and you, what's up? For people like me and you, man. Again, I go back to like becoming uncomfortable, becoming comfortable being uncomfortable. Like you will learn a lot about yourself. Taking it forward to like when I was in New York for 5 years, bro. Being out in the field in March with snow up to your knees on a weapon
Bro.
system, guarding, you know, in a field exercise or training exercise, you know, just being dumped with snow at 2 a.m. in negative temperatures, bro. You go on a porta john to try to get warm.
Bro.
You're not warming up, but you're getting the wind off you, bro.
Yeah.
It's going like by definition, you're separating the boys from the men out there. Like it sucks, bro.
Dude.
It's terrible, you know. So
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I just, you got a 16-mile ruck, you know, in basic training, but your feet hurt, your back hurts, you got heat rash all over your body. So every move you make is terrible because it pulls. It feels like, you know, your salts crystallize on your skin. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna quit, get in the back of the truck? Like, you know, it's just like you just learn a lot about yourself, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Dude, honestly, in so many ways, oh gosh, in so many ways I'm jealous of you. And I think you're absolutely right, man. People, you don't know what you'll do until you're in a situation like that.
yeah,
And I think it's necessary, whether you do it to yourself or you're put into those situations by being in the military or whatever. I think it's necessary for people to go into those situations and actually be faced with who they are. And it doesn't mean you have to like who you are, but you're at least going to get to know who you are. And then you can figure out, okay, I want to change, I want to be different, or I'm actually crushing this, I'm going to keep going, whatever it is, but you just don't know until you're pushed. And like for that, dude, I think, man, I'm honestly kind of jealous because I can't imagine being up at 2 a.m, negative temperatures.
bro,
Like I remember you told me these stories. I remember you telling me these stories. You'd have to stay up for hours on end, freezing cold. And I'm just like, bro, like
bro.
that sounds miserable.
6 p.m. to 6 a.m. just doing a field exercise training where I'm, you know, in March, just guarding this or on this weapon. Like, yeah, bro. It's bro. It's miserable.
Yeah.
It was so cold one night that my outer layer was like doing like this in the wind, and then it just froze, bro.
It just
It just
stopped
stopped.
moving.
It froze up and got solid like this.
Yo, how's that possible? Was it wet?
Yeah, because yeah, it was still snowing. It was actively
Oh, I
snowing. It was
see.
negative whatever, and
I see.
with the wind, God, bro, it was just terrible.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, man.
Well, now, I mean, fortunately, and that was during deployment, or no, that was after deployment when you got stationed in New York,
No,
right?
that was before deployment. When I was in New York before I left to on deployment.
Yeah, to Kandahar.
Yeah,
Dude,
bro.
so I know this. You could go on and on about this too, but what was deployment like? Because not a lot of people get deployed.
Yeah, bro. Well, especially now, we're not deploying at that rate no more. Man, taking it back to basic, dude. I learned a lot about myself, and that I feel like I strive. I get nervous, I get anxious, but I strive in change. I feel like I
Yeah,
can adapt quick. I don't know if it's just because I've been forced to or whatever, but like, or I just refuse not to, you know? Because if you don't,
right.
then it's gonna be like basics gonna like anything in life. But if you refuse to adapt, man, you're gonna have a hard time, especially when you have to
Yeah.
be somewhere and you have no choice, you know. Um, yeah, I can. Yeah, dude, we can talk about this all day. It was, dude. It was hard. It was so hard.
Yeah.
Like it. You think it sets in before you leave, and you're saying your goodbyes, and you know the tears are coming down. Like, oh, I'll see you in 9 months, you know. But man, when you get over there, whenever it hits for you, hits for me, hits for him or her, or whatever. Like, I think mine really sat in at like, you know, a month or 2 months. Like, holy shit, I can't go
Yeah.
home for another 7 months, 6 months,
Yeah.
whatever it is. So you make the most of it, man. Fortunately, what I was doing over there kept me really busy. We stayed out on mission. We stayed outside the wire a lot, rolling constant. It was, but dude, it was the beauty to it too. I had no real world stressors. I
Yeah.
didn't have to worry about bills. I didn't have to worry about whatever. I can't even begin to describe it, but it's like I woke up or got off. I either woke up, hit the gym, went straight to mission, came back, did it all over again for 9 months. It's like,
Yeah.
I just made the most of it. It was cool, man. There's a lot of nationals or like locals or people from other countries that were civilians over there that worked. So I made the most of it, man. It was
Yeah.
hard. One of the things that I feel like really saved me over there was most mornings, depending on our mission schedule, if we were rolling at night or whatever. Um, the sunrise and the sunset over there is like something I've never seen.
I was going to ask you about that.
So, and where I was in Kandahar, and where we were surrounded by these mountains. And dude, watching the sun rise, I would do my best to walk to the CrossFit gym on base over there.
Yeah.
It was like an old warehouse that I would train out of. I would do my best to walk while the sun was rising, man, and it was just so beautiful. And that was my time to just like I put my headphones in at the time. I was throwing in just whatever song it like just gets you like ready to ride in the morning. Not like to train, but like it just makes you feel good, dude. Gets the juices flowing. I would put that in and I would walk to the gym. It'd take me about 10 minutes to walk there, and it would make me smile, man. It would make me happy. It would just give me that sense of relief. And then same at nighttime. On Kandahar, there was we call it the boardwalk. It used to be a really bussin', you know what I'm saying, as the kids say, base over there. And so there's a boardwalk. You used to have like a bunch of little shops and restaurants on it for soldiers to eat, and a bunch of the locals, man, whatever. We even had a turf field over there. They put on like flag football tournaments, basketball tournaments, stuff like that.
No way.
While I was out there busting up people, bro. No,
I know you like some flag football.
Down, dude.
For those of you who don't know, Mike's an All-American in flag football, like legitimately. Yeah. He was an All-American.
I'm trying to go to the Olympics, bro. I need somebody to see this, dude. I could make the Olympic team, dude.
Hey, we could try to get something.
Yeah, bro. But so at nighttime, when I had the opportunities to, wasn't as often, I would go to like this far corner of the boardwalk that was right beside the airfield on this base, which was the corner, the airfield, and then was the other mountain, like the other side of the bowl, the mountain range. And I would just watch the sun set, man, and like, dude, I'm getting chills thinking about it. I got set out. I just show people pictures like just the most clearest and pure, like pink and blue cotton candy sky, right? That's what I'll call it, that you could ever imagine. And you're in this just, dude, you can't sugarcoat it, bro. You're just in this. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're in a shithole of a place, dude. Like, it's not a fun place to be. And then you just get this relief with this just beauty. And it's like, it's going to be all right. You're going to make it through these next 6 months to get home and see your family, to see your friends, to leave the house and go get a freaking energy drink at the gas station when you want to do it. Because you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be okay. But that was me, man. There's some people that really did not do good, and I understand why, and they had to get sent back, a lot of psychological reasons and whatnot. But it was tough, man. And there's days, like there's missions where you're supposed to roll out and be out there for 4 hours, and you get stuck out there for, a day or two, and it's terrible. It sucks, bro.
Jeez.
But you make the most of it, man. You bond with your boys and you make it through,
I'm gonna say I feel like that would be the most helpful thing is you get really close with your guys. It's like that shared suck just makes it easier to get through it.
Yeah, dude, it's quite literally you start laughing because of how shitty the situation is, bro.
There's no other way to cope with it. You're just you're just trying to figure it out.
There's nothing else to do but laugh.
Yeah, I get that. That's funny. Dang, man. Well, dude, I mean, that's really incredible, dude. You've gone through something that not a lot of people will ever get to go through.
Yeah.
And It's made you a better person for sure.
Yeah, man.
I think, and I'd like to have you, like, when we do another episode, I want to talk more about like coming back, because now you're actually like training people physically. So now you're like literally a physical trainer.
Yeah, the big difference
And,
from
like,
not eating ice cream for breakfast.
yeah, dude, it's like it could not be more of a 180.
Dude,
Like,
it's
you didn't give an F about fitness. And now you're literally teaching people how to be as fit as humanly possible and doing a really good job.
I remember walking in to the gym on campus, bro, and I would, like, young and dumb, drinking in college, I would walk into the rec center that just hammered still.
Dude.
Like.
And I'd be getting off the rowing machine.
I don't even, to now, dude, I don't even drink no more. It's like, it's crazy, dude.
It is crazy, man. It's actually really incredible, dude. And I want to hit on that more when we do this again. But so we'll wrap it up there for today, because I know you got to get going anyways. But yeah, you guys, this has been podcast number 2, episode number 2 with Mr. Mike Mattis. Where can people find you at on Instagram? Because I know people are going to want to follow you.
Mikey Matt. Nobody's ever asked me that, dude. I feel so cool.
Hey.
Mikey Matts. I don't know why I still have that as my name. MikeyYY_MATTSS.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you created my handle. I don't know where that came from. I think I created your handle back in the day, dude.
Oh yeah, we want to talk about that.
You want to talk about that?
Created.
Talk about that.
Yeah, Mike. There was a nickname I had on campus that I did not give to myself.
It stuck.
It blew my mind.
Some random class that we did not need to be taking, but we took it just to have an elective.
It was like pre-algebra.
No, dude, it was it was something random. And I remember sitting there and I just made it.
And dude,
it stuck, bro.
Yeah,
it ran like wildfire, brother.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it's bro. Oh yeah, dude.
All right, dude. Well, I'm gonna let you get going because I know you're going to pick up your kids, so you go do that. I appreciate your time today, seriously. And for you guys out there listening, episode 3 will be dropped pretty soon. Be looking forward to that. This again was Mikey Matts. Go follow him on Instagram. Appreciate y'all. Love you guys. We out.
Yes, sir.